first one is thesis. The narrative Indonesia ranks second in the world for the poorest population, frequently circulates and goes viral in the public sphere. This dramatic handling often triggers panic or defensive reaction in the public. However, the underlying issue isn't simply the ranking, but rather the different method used to measure poverty. Arin Setiawati, and the economist at the University of Muhammadiyah Surabaya, emphasized that difference in measure standard often lead to misinterpretation that suggests Indonesia poverty situation is worsening drastically. Okay, next, argument 1. What needs to be understood is that poverty figures depend on the measurement method. When national and international standards are mixed without explanation, the result can be misleading, he said. Nationally, the Central Statistic Agency recorded Indonesia's poverty rate in March 2025 at 8.47%, or around 23.85 million people. This data serves as the government official reference in the formulating budget, determining social assessment, receipt, and evaluating poverty alleviation program. Okay, the second argument. However, the figure is different when using the World Bank international approach based on purchasing power parity. For upper middle income countries like Indonesia, the World Bank sets a higher poverty threshold. As a result, approximately 68% of the population is considered below the global poverty line. This doesn't mean the majority or people are the extremely poor, but rather that their standard of living has been raised. So the context is different. Arin explained. According to him, both data are equally valid because they answer different questions. BPS measures people's ability to meet basic needs based on domestic price and consumption patterns, while the World Bank compares the quality of life between countries against global standards. Arin believes that the best overall figures often absorb a more complex reality. Poverty, he said, is not simple matter of low income, but also limited access to basic needs as nutrition, food, healthy care, quality education, and decent work. Okay, next, the third argument. He said the stunting prevalence will remain at around 21.5% in 2023. This means that 1 in 5 Indonesian toddlers still experience developmental disorder due to nutrition issue and family economic resilience. This is a warning that even though poverty statistics have decreased, the quality of life of some people remain vulnerable. He stressed, furthermore, poverty is exacerbated by the unequal distribution of wealth, the concentration of economic wealth in a small group makes social mobility increasingly difficult. Children from poor families tend to access lower quality education, experience poor health, and have a limited job opportunities. This is where poverty transforms from where numbers into a physiological cycle between generations. He said Aaron wanted the public not to get caught up the sensational of global ranking. Okay, the last is reincarnation. International standards serve a mirror for evaluating quality of life, while national standards help ensure target policies. Ranking can be depressing, but poverty is real. It has a face and address and a story. Our task is to win the debate over number, but to ensure that people quality of life truly improve.